Here's a controversial truth. Most men are never told. Women are not primarily attracted to looks, money, or even status. Those things can help, but they are not the real trigger of attraction. What women naturally respond to, often without even realizing it, is a man's energy. You've probably seen it before. A man walks into a room and somehow people notice him. He's not necessarily the tallest, the richest, or the most handsome, yet women seem comfortable around him. They laugh at his jokes. They lean in when he speaks. Meanwhile, another man who may look better on paper is ignored. Why? Because attraction often has less to do with what a man has and more to do with how he carries himself. Many men are taught the wrong things about attraction. They're told to impress women, chase validation, or constantly prove their worth. But the strange truth is that the harder a man tries to impress, the more he often pushes attraction away. Women tend to gravitate toward men who give off a certain calm, grounded, confident energy. Not arrogance, not loud dominance, but a quiet sense that he knows who he is and where he's going. It's an energy that communicates stability, direction, and emotional control. This kind of presence cannot be faked for long. It shows up in small things. How a man speaks, how he listens, how he reacts under pressure, and how comfortable he is in his own skin. In this video, we're going to break down the specific qualities that create this kind of energy. Think of this as a guide for men who want to understand attraction beyond the surface level. Because once you understand the energy women naturally respond to, you'll realize something surprising. Attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you project. 1. Stop trying to impress women. One of the biggest mistakes many men make is constantly trying to impress women. It sounds logical at first. If you want someone to like you, you try to show them your best qualities. You try to show your achievements, your money, your intelligence, or even how funny you are. But here is the controversial truth. The more a man tries to impress, the less attractive he often becomes. Why? Because trying too hard to impress usually sends one hidden message: I need your approval. And people can feel that energy very quickly. When a man is always trying to prove himself, it creates pressure in the interaction. He might talk too much about himself, try too hard to be funny, or constantly look for signs that the woman likes him. Instead of appearing confident, he starts to appear uncertain and approval-seeking. Attraction usually works in the opposite direction. Women tend to feel more comfortable around men who are relaxed and secure in themselves. A man who doesn't feel the need to constantly prove his value often appears more confident. He is simply being himself. He is present in the moment, not performing. This kind of energy is calm and natural. Instead of focusing on impressing someone, focus on connecting with them. Ask questions, listen. Carefully share your thoughts honestly. Let the conversation flow without trying to control how you are perceived. A man who is comfortable with who he is doesn't rush to prove anything. He knows his value without needing constant validation from others. And strangely enough, that attitude is often what makes people curious about him. Imagine 2 men at a small gathering. One man spends the whole evening talking about his job, his expensive car, and the places he has traveled. He is clearly trying to show everyone how successful he is. Another man is relaxed. He listens to people, asks thoughtful questions, and occasionally shares his own experiences without exaggerating them. He laughs easily and doesn't seem worried about impressing anyone. Over time, people naturally gravitate toward the second man. The conversation feels easier around him. He seems more genuine and more confident. The lesson here is simple. Confidence is not about proving your worth. It is about being comfortable enough that you don't have to. When a man stops trying to impress and starts simply being present, his energy changes. And that quiet confidence is often far more attractive than any attempt to perform. Section 2. Attention is not attraction. Many men confuse attention with attraction. This is one of the most common misunderstandings when it comes to relationships. Just because a woman talks to you, laughs with you, texts you, or spends time around you does not automatically mean she is attracted to you. People enjoy attention in general. It feels good to be noticed. It feels good when someone listens, compliments you, or makes you feel important. Women are no different. They can enjoy a man's attention without necessarily feeling romantic interest. This is where many men become confused. They believe that if they give enough attention, eventually attraction will appear. They send long messages, constantly check in, always respond immediately, and try to be available at all times. But attraction rarely grows from constant availability. In many cases, too much attention too quickly can actually weaken attraction. It removes mystery. It removes excitement. It also signals that the man may not have much else going on in his life. Men who understand attraction behave differently. They don't rush to give unlimited attention to someone they barely know. Instead, they focus on living their own lives while getting to know the other person naturally. This doesn't mean ignoring women or playing games. It simply means not overinvesting too early. Healthy attraction grows when two people slowly discover each other. It grows through shared moments, conversation, curiosity, and emotional connection. When everything is given too quickly, the experience becomes less interesting. Men who constantly chase attention often end up being seen as just a source of validation, not a romantic partner. The key idea is simple. Attention is easy to give, but attraction must be built. Imagine a man who meets a woman and immediately begins texting her throughout the entire day. Every morning, he sends a good morning message. Every evening, he checks in again. If she takes longer to reply, he sends another message just to keep the conversation going. At first, she may enjoy the attention. It feels flattering, but over time the excitement fades because there is no space for curiosity. Now, imagine another man who enjoys talking with her, but also has his own schedule, hobbies, and responsibilities. When they talk, he is engaged and present, but he does not feel the need to constantly fill every moment with messages. Their conversations feel more balanced. There is room for anticipation and interest. The difference is simple. One man is chasing attention, while the other is allowing attraction to develop naturally. Section 3. Women notice calm confidence. One thing many men misunderstand about attraction is what confidence actually looks like. A lot of people imagine confidence as being loud, dominant, or always trying to be the center of attention. But in reality, the kind of energy that naturally attracts people is usually much quieter. It's called calm confidence. Calm confidence is the ability to be comfortable with yourself without needing to prove it to everyone around you. It's not about showing off, competing with other men, or trying to control every situation. Instead, it shows up in the way a man carries himself. A man with calm confidence does not panic when conversations become quiet. He does not rush to fill every silence. He does not feel pressured to impress everyone in the room. He simply stays relaxed and present. That kind of energy is noticeable. Many men know the feeling of being nervous in social situations. When you feel pressured to perform, your mind starts racing. You start overthinking everything you say. You wonder if you sound interesting enough, funny enough, or impressive enough. That tension is something people can feel. Calm confidence works differently. Instead of trying to control how others see you, you become comfortable with whatever happens in the moment. If a joke doesn't land, it doesn't shake you. If a conversation slows down, you stay relaxed. If someone disagrees with you, you don't immediately feel the need to defend yourself. This kind of emotional steadiness creates a sense of safety and stability in social interactions. Women often notice men who remain calm, even when situations become uncertain. It shows that the man is not easily shaken by small social pressures. He trusts himself enough to stay grounded. This does not mean being cold or distant. Calm confidence can still be warm, friendly, and engaging. The difference is that the man is not desperately trying to control the outcome of every interaction. Another important part of calm confidence is patience. Many men rush interactions because they feel pressured for things to happen quickly. They rush conversations, rush relationships, and rush emotional connection. But confidence is often slow and steady. It does not feel the need to force progress. When a man moves through life at his own pace, it signals that he is comfortable with who he is. He does not depend on immediate approval from others to feel secure, and that energy is powerful because it is rare. In a world where many people are anxious about how they are perceived, the man who remains calm, steady, and self-assured naturally stands out. Not because he is louder than everyone else, but because he is more grounded than everyone else. Section 4. Neediness pushes women away. This is a hard truth many men need to hear. Neediness quietly destroys attraction. Most men don't realize when they are being needy. In their mind, they believe they are just being caring, attentive, or showing interest. But underneath those actions, there is often a deeper problem. They are seeking validation. Neediness happens when a man starts depending on a woman's reactions to feel good about himself. If she replies quickly, he feels great. If she takes longer to reply, he feels anxious. If she compliments him, his mood rises. If she seems distant, he suddenly feels insecure. When your emotional state starts depending on someone else's behavior, that energy becomes noticeable. It creates pressure in the interaction, and pressure often pushes attraction away. Here is the uncomfortable part. Many men have built their entire behavior around chasing approval. They overtext. They apologize for small things. They constantly try to prove they are good guys. They worry too much about saying the perfect thing. All of this signals one message: please like me. And that message is rarely attractive. Attraction tends to grow when a man has his own emotional stability. A man who is busy building his life, pursuing his goals, and improving himself does not place all his attention on one person he just met. But many men do the opposite. They meet a woman they find attractive, and suddenly their world begins to revolve around her attention. Their routines change, their focus shifts, their confidence rises and falls depending on her responses. Men need to wake up to this pattern. If your happiness depends on whether someone texts you back, that's not attraction. That's dependency. And dependency weakens your presence. A man with strong energy is interested in a woman, but he does not need her approval to feel valuable. His confidence comes from his own actions, his goals, and the direction of his life. That kind of independence is powerful. So, here is the honest advice many men avoid hearing. Build a life that does not revolve around chasing validation. Develop your skills. Improve your health. Work toward meaningful goals. Create friendships and experiences that make your life fulfilling. When your life becomes full and purposeful, your interactions with women change naturally. You are no longer approaching them from a place of emotional hunger. Instead, you approach them as someone who is already stable and complete. And that shift in energy makes a bigger difference than most men realize. Section 5. Purpose is more attractive than looks. Many men spend a lot of time worrying about their physical appearance. They think attraction is mostly about height, muscles, clothes, or facial features. While appearance can matter at first glance, it is rarely the thing that keeps someone interested over time. What often matters more is purpose. Purpose simply means having direction in your life. It means you are working towards something meaningful. It could be building a career, developing a skill, growing a business, pursuing education, improving your health, or creating something valuable. A man with purpose moves through life differently. He wakes up with things to do. His mind is focused on progress. His time is not spent constantly worrying about who likes him or who doesn't. Instead, he is focused on building a life that matters to him. This creates a completely different kind of energy. When a man has purpose, he becomes more disciplined with his time. He becomes more focused. He becomes more confident in the direction he is moving. These qualities naturally change the way he speaks, the way he carries himself, and the way he interacts with others. People can feel when someone is moving with direction. On the other hand, a man without purpose often becomes stuck in comparison. He worries about how he looks compared to other men. He worries about being judged. He spends too much time seeking approval because he does not have a deeper mission guiding his life. Without purpose, attention becomes the main goal. With purpose, attention becomes less important. This is something many men need to understand clearly. Attraction is not just about how someone looks in a single moment. It is also about the energy of progress. A man who is actively building something, improving his life step by step, often becomes more interesting over time. His conversations have substance. His decisions have direction. His life has movement, and movement creates momentum. That momentum can be felt in everyday interactions. When a man is excited about what he is building, it naturally shows in his voice and behavior. He does not need to constantly talk about it or boast about his goals. The consistency of his action speaks for itself. This is why purpose often outweighs appearance. Looks may attract attention quickly, but direction and ambition hold interest much longer. So, instead of constantly worrying about how attractive you appear on the outside, focus more on becoming a man who is actively moving forward in life. Because a man with purpose carries a type of energy that cannot easily be faked, and people naturally notice it. Section 6. Emotional control is powerful. One of the most underrated traits a man can develop is emotional control. Not emotional suppression, not pretending to feel nothing, but the ability to manage your emotions instead of being controlled by them. Many men struggle with this more than they realize. You've probably experienced moments where your mood suddenly changes because of something small. Maybe someone says something that irritates you. Maybe a woman you like behaves in a way you didn't expect. Maybe you feel ignored, disrespected, or misunderstood. In those moments, it becomes very easy to react emotionally. Some men become defensive, some become frustrated, some become overly sensitive. Others try too hard to fix the situation immediately. But emotional reactions often make situations worse. When a man loses control of his emotions easily, it signals that his internal state is fragile. It shows that external events can quickly disturb his sense of stability. People notice that energy even if nothing is said directly. Emotional control creates a very different presence. A man with strong emotional control does not panic when things don't go his way. He does not react to every small problem like it is a personal attack. Instead, he stays steady and thinks before responding. This steadiness changes the entire dynamic of how people interact with him. When you are emotionally controlled, you stop reacting to every situation immediately. You pause. You observe what is happening. You choose how to respond instead of letting your feelings take over. That ability alone separates calm, confident men from those who are constantly struggling in their interactions. Another important part of emotional control is not taking everything personally. Many men automatically assume that if someone acts distant or uninterested, it must mean something negative about them. They begin to overthink, question themselves, or become upset. But life is more complex than that. People have moods, stress, distractions, responsibilities, and personal challenges that have nothing to do with you. When you understand this, you stop reacting emotionally to every small shift in behavior around you. Your mindset becomes more stable. Emotional control also means you are not constantly chasing emotional highs. You don't depend on attention, compliments, or approval to feel confident. Your mood stays relatively balanced, regardless of what is happening around you. That kind of inner stability is powerful. It shows that you are grounded. It shows that your confidence comes from within, not from external reactions. And when a man develops that level of emotional control, his presence naturally becomes stronger, not louder, not aggressive, but steady, calm, and difficult to shake. Section 7. The man who walks away has the power. One of the most misunderstood ideas in relationships is power. Many men think power comes from control, dominance, or trying to hold on to someone at all costs. But the truth is often the opposite. Real power often belongs to the person who is willing to walk away. This does not mean being cold, careless, or treating people badly. It means something much deeper. It means you are not so emotionally dependent on someone that you are willing to tolerate anything just to keep them around. Many men fall into this trap without realizing it. They start lowering their standards. They accept disrespect. They ignore behaviors that clearly bother them. They constantly adjust themselves just to avoid losing the relationship. Over time, they begin to lose their sense of self. Why does this happen? Because they believe that losing the woman would be worse than losing their own self-respect. So, they hold on tightly, hoping things will change. They stay even when they feel uncomfortable, undervalued, or constantly uncertain. But here is the uncomfortable truth many men need to hear. When you show that you will tolerate anything just to stay, your value often decreases. People naturally respect those who respect themselves. A man who has clear boundaries sends a different message. He shows that his time, energy, and emotional investment are valuable. He is willing to give effort, care, and attention, but he is not willing to abandon his standards just to keep someone interested. This creates a very different dynamic. When a man knows he can walk away if something is not healthy for him, his behavior becomes more balanced. He is not constantly trying to hold everything together. He is not afraid to express what he truly thinks or feels. That level of self-respect changes the energy of the interaction. It also removes the sense of desperation that often weakens attraction. When someone feels like they are your only option, your behavior can become overly cautious and approval-seeking. But when you know your life will continue moving forward regardless, you become more relaxed and authentic. Walking away is not about threatening people or creating drama. It is about having enough confidence in your own life that you do not stay in situations that repeatedly make you feel small. In simple terms, the man who can walk away is the man who is not controlled by fear of loss. Conclusion: the controversial truth. Here's a statement that might make some men uncomfortable, but it's the truth. Most men are chasing women the wrong way, and it's not their fault because no one ever tells them the real rules. Society teaches men to impress, to provide, to perform, and to constantly seek approval. But the reality is shocking. Attraction is not earned through effort, gifts, or words. It is felt through energy. Yes, you heard that right. You could have the perfect body, the best job, or even endless charm. And still, if your energy is needy, reactive, or unsure, women will often drift away without you even realizing it. Conversely, a man who is grounded, purposeful, calm, and emotionally steady can naturally draw attention even without trying. It's a truth that most men overlook, and it's controversial because it flips everything we're taught about dating on its head. This isn't about manipulation, it's about self-mastery. It's about building a life where your value is not dependent on someone else noticing you. When you do that, attraction stops being a struggle. Women start noticing because energy speaks louder than words or actions. You don't chase, it happens naturally. I want to hear from you. I want to know if you've ever experienced situations where attention didn't equal attraction, or moments where your energy alone changed the dynamic with women. Drop your experiences in the comments. I read every single one, and I personally reach out to connect with viewers who are serious about understanding this. This is your chance to stop guessing and start noticing the energy that truly works. Remember, attraction is a feeling. It cannot be forced. Stop chasing approval. Stop being needy. Focus on building your own life and energy and watch how people naturally respond to you. Your journey to understanding attraction starts here, and I'm excited to hear your stories. Comment below and let's connect. This is not just advice, it's a reality that very few men truly understand.